Margaret Kuhlman of Soul Astrology. Looking at a Capricorn new moon, one might expect a little stability, but this new moon makes a perfect trine to Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is going to deliver surprises, no matter how you relate to it. So Capricorn is due to be surprised, which is to say that all the tried and tested things of our life, all our habits, all the things we know about our people, our friends and family, they're all due for shake-ups. Anything that you lean on as a kind of backstop, a perfect situation for waking up to one's life in all corners, but not stable. The beauty of Capricorn is its competence. Although it may prefer to create stability, and having created it, to rest on it, it's perfectly capable of dealing with changes. There has been Taurus, where we discovered what you can do with Earth and what you can't. There has been Virgo, where we practice the skills of doing things. And here is Capricorn, that understands so well how things need to be for survival that it will find and create safe spaces in any situation. It's the sign you'd want if you were cast up on a desert island. But it does mean that we need to be on our toes, ready for shifts, change, the need to adapt, and to recognize where something is a choice and where it is a necessity. Perhaps the difference between mandatory and compulsory. And added to this uncertainty and changeability is the square from Uranus to Saturn, who rules Capricorn. Saturn has been grappling this whole last year with how to organize people in the best way so that everybody has their independence, freedom, and yet everybody is cared for. And it has already squared Uranus 3 times, not quite getting the need for the change or what the changes should be, to be thoroughly Aquarian, which is treating all people as equal in value. In this chart, Saturn is sextiling Mars, and the last square to Uranus is actually over. So there is a freeing up of the situations. We can see now what the problems might be with each of the decisions that could be made. And now, with that sextile to Mars in Sagittarius, we could be up for trying new ways, actually letting go of that which doesn't work for everyone. And sextiling Chiron, although it's broad sextile, it's still there. Individual needs are to be catered for amongst any rules that apply to the group. For this next month, we also have Venus in Capricorn, having crossed Pluto in Capricorn already and been back over it, to go forward once more. The adjustment of relationships, the discovery of what really, really isn't working in its previous frame, the weeding out of that which is beneath and has been making a relationship difficult. They're coming out with the truths, recognizing where there is incompatibility without judging it, These relationship shifts are supported by Neptune, so the truth will be known by empathy, if not speech. And the spiritual love between people shows up as the most important part of any individual relationship. Venus rules Taurus, so the separations that have been apparent on the physical level are perhaps also due to be coming to an end as Venus crosses Pluto for the last time at the beginning of March. This new moon coincides with Mercury just into Aquarius. But on the 12th of January, Mercury will begin its retrograde 20 days until the 2nd of February. And towards the end of that time, it goes back into Capricorn again. So until late January, the discussion about how things can be a new way could be very fruitful. And the next piece of Capricorn that it goes through, which completes on the 14th of February, could be where we focus on how new ways can be implemented. On the 14th of February, Mercury will be again at the beginning of Aquarius. So this first bit of Aquarian discussion will be due for repeat. Everything doesn't have to be sorted in this first couple of weeks. The full moon on the 17th of January has the Sun just passing Pluto while the moon opposes it from Cancer, as though we espouse the great changes that are required. We accept, as long as our emotional well-being takes a really important place in any change that's implemented. Caring for the human family, while being responsible about taking important measures for change. By then, Mercury will be retrograding, not having quite reached Saturn, so the decisions are not made. The time for that comes towards the end of February, when Mercury does go over. But it will have been sextiling the Chiron, so the struggle of the individual for autonomy will be very much in the mix. Two other points to mention that last for several months. One is Jupiter having just at the end of 21 gone into Pisces. Jupiter expansion, growth, opening out, generosity, giving. In Pisces it has no boundaries, and it rules Pisces together with Neptune. It's the old ruler of Pisces before Neptune was discovered, and speaks to us of the growth and generosity that is natural to the spiritual level. It's also about the arts and human emotion, the sea of human emotion. As Neptune is also in Pisces over these years, Jupiter will be going over Neptune, but only once. Jupiter is going so fast through Pisces, it's only there for 4 months, and then spends 6 months in Aries, May till October, when it goes back into Pisces just for a month and a half, and finishes. The time it spends in Pisces is so supportive of our spiritual growth. It will be worth bearing in mind and using whatever assistance we can find to open the doors in ourself to spirit, to include the perspective of spirit within our everyday view of life, to have the spiritual truths as the background to the decisions that we make and the relationships that we have and the love that we give. The material world is not the backdrop to everything. It's what we have in our face. The backdrop is the spiritual reality. And Jupiter through Pisces gives us ample opportunity to really get that and make it a truth for our own selves. This is not about sharing one's ideas. It's about implementing them. The other thing that's changing for the next 19 months is the North Node of the Moon, which has just completed its time in Gemini, where we've been aiming on for communication and lots of different ideas and being able to accommodate many different outlooks and belief patterns. It's now going to be focusing on the earth, nature, the material world, and how we value it. And of course the South Node will be in Scorpio, meaning that we have to plumb the depths of our need to recognize the interconnectedness of all forms of life and to work hand in hand with nature, with trees, with animals, with the sea, all the earth, recognizing deep, deep down that we are part of the earth. The earth is the mother and provides for us all that we need for life. On a personal level, because there's so much going on, so much restriction possibly lifted, lots of movement, more and more ideas coming to the surface, and truths becoming more widely known, it's a bit confusing, and that's fine. I think it's worth bearing in mind the idea that whatever is relevant to each one of us as individuals will become apparent in our lives. It's something about attracting to yourself what reflects you and what is appropriate to you. So if you become confused about all the rest of it, just focus on what comes to your hand. Take care of those around you. Love those you know. Know that on a spiritual level you can love all of it, but pay attention to what's there. The truth is we are not in control, and that's okay. And I wish you all the best with that. Thank you. Enter. Come in. You are so welcome. Don't be afraid, it is you who are welcome, not your hopes or anxieties, not your egoic self, but your heartfelt magnificence. You are known. The universe sees you as you are, part of itself, part of the vast silence, the stillness that is the eye of the storm of experience, the moment between dying and death, the precipice for each drop falling over a waterfall, letting go into the glory. And how to live? Why worry about that? Just move as your mind and body dictate, and your life slides from one action to another. But don't forget that poised drop of water. Pause your breathing and let go.